Hello everyone and welcome to this Python course. In this Python course, you will learn everything you need to get started with Python. Python is the most popular programming language out there and is used for so many different industries like web development, data science, machine learning, or generally for writing automation programs to automate repetitive tasks. So, learning Python is definitely a good idea. Let me give you a short overview of all the topics I will cover in this course. After giving a short introduction to Python, we will start with the basic building blocks of programming. The most important data types like strings, numbers list, sets, dictionaries, boolean data types, etc. and how to work with them. Learn about variables and functions and why we need them. Write a program that accepts user input and learn how to validate the user input using conditional error handling with try except, and also learn loops with while and for loops, and again why we actually need them. You will learn all these concepts with hands-on examples. As a next step, you will learn how to modularize your program by writing your own modules and then see how to use some built-in Python modules. With all this knowledge, we can then build our next demo project to write a small program that accepts a goal and a deadline as user input and then outputs the number of days remaining till the goal deadline. Within the exercise, you will learn how to use the datetime module to work with dates. After that, you will learn about packages and comparison of package versus module, and we will use an external Python package in our next demo project in which we will automate some tasks for working with a spreadsheet file. Finally, we dive into object-oriented programming. You will learn what classes and objects are in programming and Python specifically, and why this concept is so useful. In the final demo project, you will learn another common use case with Python, which is communicating with other applications over the internet by making a request to fetch some data from GitLab API. In this specific case, we will list the GitLab project of a specific user, so that's what we are going to learn. If you like this course, don't forget to give this video a thumbs up. I'm really excited to teach you all of this. So let's get started. First of all, Python is a programming language just like Java or JavaScript. Python compared to other languages has two very big advantages. First of all, it's easy to learn. It has a simple syntax and it's very easy to set up and get started with. For example, compared to Java, where you need some initial configuration before you can even start your application. But it's equally or even more powerful than Java. Now, what makes a language powerful, or how can say that Python is more powerful? Well, that comes from the ecosystem, which means libraries and modules that Python developers themselves develop, but also external developers create and maintain. So the more people adopt the language, the more powerful it gets because new libraries and new functionalities get added to it. And the second advantage is that it's flexible. Now, what does a flexible mean? In this case, what makes a language flexible is that it is easy to mold to your wishes. So you are not limited or restricted by the language specifics like syntax or data types or some other constraints or even library functionalities. You can extend Python widely, and as one of the result of this flexibility, Python also become a multi-purpose language, meaning it is used for many different categories. So let's see what these categories are. First, you can use it to write web applications. The popular libraries for that are Django or more lightweight Flask. Python became extremely popular because of the rise of data science, machine learning, and artificial intelligence industries, and more libraries were created and are still being added for Python. For all these categories, they are very popular and highly used libraries for data analysis and data visualization, libraries for artificial intelligence projects, for things like face recognition, voice recognition, and a bunch of very powerful and widely used machine learning libraries. Python is also often used for data collection, like scraping the web, creating web crawlers that are basically programs that collect data from internet, which you can save and then process later. Again, many different powerful libraries to do all of that. And finally, automation with Python. Python has many great libraries to automate DevOps tasks. For example, starting from CI/CD pipelines to cloud platform and monitoring your infrastructure, etc. You can also write Python script to do automated backup cleanups on the servers, etc. In addition to DevOps tasks, you can also automate just general tasks with Python, like when working with Excel sheets, which is a common use case in many big companies, or automating some tasks on your own laptop. And there are also libraries for mobile development, gaming desktop applications, but these are less likely use cases for Python because there are better alternatives for that. So you see that the use cases for Python are pretty vast, and it actually spans several industries, and it's most concentrated around data analytics, machine learning, and automation areas. And note that this isn't the case for many other programming languages. Usually, one programming language is good for just few things, and you should use something else for other use cases. So now you see how useful Python knowledge could be and how it can help you in your job, but also make you more valuable at your work and for your entire team. I hope you're already excited to learn Python. So let's get started. As a first step, we are going to configure our local Python development environment. So the first thing we need is install Python locally on our laptop. So first we install or download Python package for your specific operating system, and then just click through the installer wizard to install Python locally on your laptop. And note that if you are doing this on Windows, very important step in the installation process would be to check the add Python to path option, basically that you see here, because by default it is unchecked and you have to check mark it so that after the installation you will be able to execute Python commands in your terminal. Now that we have Python available locally, it's time to download a code editor for Python because we are going to be writing files with Python code. So we need a proper editor for writing Python code, and actually the best Python code editor available out there currently is PyCharm, which is from JetBrains. So that's what we are going to be using throughout our tutorial. So let's go to PyCharm. It is an intelligent code editor which makes it much easier to write code. So it make you actually very productive when writing code, and we will see why throughout the course. As you can see here, there are two versions. We have the community version and professionals. One community version is free and already has a lot of powerful features, but the professional edition gives you additional very useful features, especially if you are creating web applications or scientific projects in Python. So, with the professional version, additionally, you will get scientific tools that you can use in scientific projects with Python, but also you get support for Python web frameworks and database integration, which can be of course very helpful if you're developing web applications. But for this demo community version is absolutely fine. So I will go with this one and install it and just click download. And once the PyCharm installer is fully downloaded, we can just click on it, and now I can actually use it locally. So I'm just gonna open the application and we're gonna take a quick tour around PyCharm. It's actually pretty simple to set it up, and there you go. We have our PyCharm and we can now create a new project, and let's call it my Python project, and that's it. Basically, we don't need to change anything else. And here you see the location generally of where this application folder will be created. You see PyCharm projects folder got credited in my users dictionary. So this is basically very convenient because all my PyCharm project or my Python projects that I created using PyCharm will be created in one location. And here you also see that Python version 3 that we installed is automatically being used for this project, which is exactly what we want. And you see, it says base interpreter, and a Python interpreter is basically a program that knows how to execute Python code. It will know how to interpret or translate our Python code into instructions that computers can understand. So with this configuration, we don't have to change anything. We are gonna create our project. Let's leave it and at that. So as you see, we have a very simple project with one main PI file. The extension is for Python files, which basically contains very simple code, and we are gonna just remove all of this and start from a clean Python file state. And in the next section, we are gonna dive right and write our first simple Python application. So thank you so much for watching.